Hello, lovely language learners. It's Mork Sensei, and welcome back to my channel. Today is part 2 of a 3-part series about a book entitled Our World Today, and I'm going to be reading from the text. It's a Quill textbook, so do follow the instructions below and check out the first video before you delve into this one. So in this video, we're going to do chapters 6, 7, 8, and 9. Let's get started. The world's population, or population growth, is seen by many as one of the many environmental issues we are facing due to the collective demand we put on our planet. Experts estimate that our planet's population will reach 8 billion by 2050, and many environmentalists are considering a range of environmental problems as a direct consequence of this. As more people are born, our planet's forests, oceans, and lands are impacted. More lumber is extracted for timber, more fish and oxygen is consumed, and more land is needed to grow food, livestock, and for building houses and roads. Also, people in developed countries have higher standards of living with consumption lifestyles where their purchasing habits are often driven by lust instead of necessity, making an even greater strain on resources. As with other environmental issues, many solutions have been suggested to manage population growth. Empowering families to plan the number of children is a widely accepted solution that governments can implement, especially in less developed countries. Providing family planning services and accurate information on contraceptives and reproductive health care is essential for families who would prefer to delay having children. Education and creation of job opportunities for women is seen as another significant way to address population growth. Women who are educated are likely to delay marriage and consequently giving birth. This helps to ensure that children will grow in an environment that is suitable for them, with parents who are more likely mature and in a favorable economic situation. As a side effect, it also helps us to address poverty, as educated people tend to have smaller families. Discussing population growth is a very difficult and delicate topic. Many developing countries have higher birth rates, and most of the world's population lives in poor countries, so pushing for birth control might lead to prejudice, and discouraging migration may lead to racism. In addition, most religions favor fertility over contraceptive methods, complicating this discussion even more. When talking about pollution, the first thing many people think about is air pollution, but there are many other types of pollution. Environmental pollution includes not only ones that directly affect our planet's resources, like air, water, and land pollution, but also the ones that affect our lifestyles, like noise, visual, and light pollution. Air pollution is caused by the emission of hazardous gases into our atmosphere by, for example, cars and factories. These gases cause changes in the climate and the fauna and flora of our planet. The increasing number of people diagnosed with respiratory problems is seen to be a direct consequence of air pollution. Special interest groups often use this evidence to support their claims that pollution can affect humans directly. Water pollution happens when industrial and household waste is released into rivers, lakes, and any other kind of body of water. Also, runoff from the use of agricultural chemicals such as pesticides as well as acid rain can be causes of water pollution because they harm the animals and plants living in the area. Land pollution, or soil contamination, is the direct or indirect result of human activity destroying pieces of land that could be used constructively. Polluted water, fertilizers, and spilling of other chemicals can all lead to bad crops and soil infertility. Noise, light, and visual pollution are all the direct results of our modern lives. Noise pollution is caused by aircrafts, vehicle horns, and every type of modern machinery that makes audible and non-audible noise when in operation. Light pollution happens when too much light is used. It washes away our starlight and affects nocturnal animals and plants. Finally, visual pollution refers to everything that affects our ability to enjoy a landscape with disturbing visuals or negative changes to the environment, like landfills, billboards, power lines, and street signs. Pollution is directly related to the way we interact with our environment. Avoiding environmental pollution means to harmoniously interact with the plants, the animals, and everything else in our environment. Water availability has become a major problem in many places, including areas where water is highly available due to pollution, contamination, or unsustainable use. As water is essential for many industrial and agricultural processes, water scarcity directly affects the development of communities and becomes a very important environmental issue. In 1969, the Cuyahoga River in Cleveland, United States, caught on fire after sparks coming from a train ignited the oil-soaked debris floating on the surface of the river. The incident showed how excessive industrial waste dumping can be, and interest groups demanded better water pollution control. Even now, things such as agricultural runoff, mining, and construction sites constantly threaten sources of clean water. That is why many governments around the world are trying to secure water supplies. Water quality is a priority for many countries, especially in developing ones, where around 70% of industrial waste is dumped into rivers without any treatment. With world population rising and economies growing, water availability is also a pressing issue, not only in dry regions. As the worldwide population continues to increase, more food is necessary to support it, which means more water is used to irrigate crops. In fact, 70% of all water we consume is used primarily for agriculture, and in many areas, the consumption of water is higher than its availability, which may lead to the depletion of underground water supplies. A problem with water is that it is not only needed for mankind, but also needed by nature to support plants and animals that will, in turn, support us. To alleviate this problem and to ensure a future with plenty of water for everyone, some current proposals are promoting water efficiency strategies, pushing governments and companies to control water pollution and water treatment before dumping it into rivers, and encouraging water reuse. Deforestation is an environmental issue that happens all over the world. It is the destruction of forests in order to make the land available for others or simply to extract timber. Agriculture and urbanization play an important role in deforestation, as most of land clearing occurs because of them. Cutting down forests has many negative effects on the environment. The most dramatic impact is the loss of habitat for millions of species. 70% of Earth's land animals and plants live in forests. With the loss of habitat, many species end up isolated without enough food and shelter to sustain their existence, and many become extinct. Another side effect of deforestation is climate change. Many environmentalists believe that deforestation is also directly connected to global warming. One technique used to clear a forested area is called slash and burn, where the trees and plants are cut down and burned. In addition, with the reduction of forests, not only is the amount of CO2 removed from the atmosphere reduced, but the CO2 retained by the trees is released into the atmosphere. In fact, the process of deforestation releases as much CO2 into our atmosphere as all the cars, trucks, and buses on our planet. More than serving as home to animal life and cleaning our air, forests are essential to secure a stable and adequate food supply for our growing population, protect the soil against erosion and drought, and allow for sustainable agriculture. One of the proposed solutions to deforestation is reforestation. Still, only planting trees is not enough to rebuild a forest. As with many other environmental issues, a huge effort is necessary to alleviate the damage that has already been done by deforestation all over the world. Okay, lovely language learners, that is it for today. We'll see you in part 3, the final few chapters of this series soon. So, Mork Sensei signing out. Mwah.